Hello and welcome. Let's take a look at the top story that we are tracking for you. Amid a political turmoil in the country, the Pakistan Supreme Court has stepped in to bring in stability. This after joint opposition in the country threatened to stage a sit-in and disrupt the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Summit if the resolution calling for a no-confidence vote against Pakistan Prime Minister is not tabled on the 21st of March. Now, the country's top court has now asked 6 political parties, which includes the proponents of the no-trust motion against Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan, for assistance in dealing with the matter of no-confidence motion without creating an anarchic situation in the country, and to ensure a smooth, lawful and peaceful completion of the process. The Pakistan Supreme Court issued notices to the respondents under Article 95 of the Constitution, which deals with the issue of no confidence motion. Now, the court in its order noted that no confidence motion is a non-legal matter and does not relate to its jurisdiction. The Supreme Court further emphasized on how all political activities should be held within the confines of the law and the Constitution. Meanwhile, the Apex Court also directed the Islamabad Inspector General of Police to submit a report on the storming of Sindh House by PTI supporters, where 24 lawmakers who have threatened to vote against Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan were lodged. Now, the top court has said that hearings on the petition would be conducted on a daily basis. Dr. Jamil Ahmed Khan, a political analyst, is joining us live from Karachi, Pakistan, for more on this. Thank you for being with us on this broadcast. Now, the opposition has threatened to stage a sit-in and disrupt the OIC summit if the motion is not tabled by the Speaker tomorrow in the Assembly. How do you think the events will play out?
Well, I think the opposition has issued the clarification also, even while they were describing about the sit-in in the parliament, floor of the parliament. With the same breath, they mentioned that they are going to welcome the participants, the foreign ministers who are coming for the OIC meeting, which has been called under Article Charter of the OIC, Article 10. And they were very welcoming. As a matter of fact, the entire opposition unanimously were mentioning that they would welcome it. But then later on, the spokesperson of Bilawal Bhutto Zardari and Shahbaz Sharif, both of them issued the clarification that they would not disrupt. They would make sure that the OIC meeting is not disrupted. So my own take and my own analysis is that they are not going to have the sit-in. And it is just from both sides, the opposition and Imran Khan. From both sides, there's a pressure tactics because the tradition is that the speaker may adjourn the session after offering condolences and Fatiha of one of the members who expired between the last session and this session. So traditionally, Speaker has been adjourning the motion and not have been keeping any agenda point. The other trick which the ruling party has done is that they have not really, they're keeping the agenda close to their chest. They have not really mentioned it. And obviously, the ruling party would like that this somehow should wriggle out for another couple of days. And if they are able to flout with the Article 95 of the Constitution of Pakistan. But it appears very difficult because Article 95 is what you mentioned in your intro. It's really quite clear that not before 3 days of the submission of the resolution and not after 7 days of the submission of the resolution of no confidence against the Prime Minister, the resolution it would not be brought on the agenda. So they have to do that. Let's see how do they find the way out. So far as the Supreme Court is concerned, they were only approached to interpret the Article 63A, which means the government has asked, is going to ask tomorrow once the hearing starts. before the
Right.
ethics court that if the MNAs who have defected reportedly, if they are disqualified after the voting, or they are trying to do it before the voting,
Right.
but it's not really possible. So would they be disqualified for life? And again, it's more pressure which is being mounted on those members who have decided not to vote in favor of Imran Khan. So that's how the things are moving. And so far as the OIC is concerned, I think all the opposition parties and all the stakeholders are very, very clear in their mind that they are not going to bring any kind of disruption which could bring the embarrassment. Yeah.
Right, Doctor. How do you feel the opposition is placed ahead of this no confidence vote?
Well, ahead of no confidence vote, the opposition is only demanding about from the government, from the ruling party, that they should just follow the constitution. And as I was mentioning, that the constitution is very clear that it has to be on the agenda. That is Monday, sure, tomorrow. And within 7 days' time, they have to really take it up on the agenda. But as I said, that traditionally, if the speaker invokes the traditions which has been followed in the parliament, that if anyone dies, then they would offer the condolence, the Fatiha, and normally it's adjourned. But there is an exception. What happened in 2012, one of the MNAs, Fawzia Wahab, had expired, and Mr. Gilani, who was the PM, was dislodged or disqualified by the Supreme Court. So from the floor of the House, the election was to be convened, and the Speaker gave the ruling that the proceeding would continue, and the proceeding continued after the condolence. So, as I said, that the ruling party, because they have lost certain members from their ranks and files, so they are trying to, and therefore they're just trying to have this delaying practice to really lure them in again and to convince their own party members to come back instead of having those grievances. Perhaps the government is willing to address the grievances, and with that hope, government is trying to gain some time. I can analyze of the whole scenario situation. Yeah.
Right. And finally, what happens next if Prime Minister Imran Khan fails the no confidence vote?
Well, again, the constitution is very clear. The opposition or another person would be asked to gain the vote of confidence, and the vote of confidence is given to whosoever. In this case, the leader of the opposition, which has been decided by all the parties, that Shahbaz Sharif, as it's there in the press also, that the Shahbaz Sharif would then ask for the vote of confidence the same day, and it's very straightforward clause of the constitution. He becomes the prime minister in that case. So there won't be any lag and any gap of Imran Khan. However, Imran Khan has been very vocal that if he is dislodged, then he'll be, obviously, he'll be causing a lot of trouble to those who would be in government at that time, that is the Shahbaz Sharif, perhaps, as it has been decided. So that's yet to be seen. But what I'm just mentioning here is all what has been reported, and the analysis is that Imran Khan, he still is a crowd puller, and he might as well like to stage a lot of convention and demonstrations, because the election season would start by then, because it's already just about one year and few more months left for the next election. So Imran Khan would go in the election campaign, and that's how it's going to happen. But I don't see any major difficulties in it if the state way, if the constitution, the way it's being followed in this particular case, once it's followed, the things are going to be not very disruptive.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast, Dr. Jamal Ahmed Khan, bringing us all the latest on that upcoming no confidence vote.
My pleasure.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.